obviously he's going to have growing pains, but he'll be really ready by then.
I don't get into the world of predicting or how confident am I. I do my job, take this day, schedule, try to plan ahead, and be organized and prepare our players the best we possibly can. That's the world I try to stay in.
Well, where's that fine line between a player playing y'all's game and then the player taking it to the next level and playing his game at quarterback? You know, we saw Baker Mayfield, make plays after plays and stuff, and of course that's probably a 4-letter word in your name, in your book. But I mean, where do you cross that line?
I think what you're referring to is more like quarterbacks coming off schedule and freelance.
Yeah.
I think there's a fine line with that, and the most important thing with quarterbacks that have a lot of natural ability and quarterbacks with escapability, quarterbacks that can extend plays, and quarterbacks that can make backyard ball plays is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Ball security is the number one. We have to protect the ball. We have to be responsible. We have, there's a few statistics that correlate to wins majorly, and a major correlation. Turnovers is one of those. We can control turnovers. So we have to be responsible. We have to be going through our progressions. We have to get the ball out on time. So if things break down and the creative process takes hold at that point, I don't think you ever want to take the athleticism away or hinder any or handcuff anybody, but there still has to be a discipline throughout the process of quarterbacking.
And the reason I'm saying that is because we saw 4 or 5 plays in the spring game that if it had been live, Justin would have made a huge play. Did you see enough of that part of him to feel, confident, whatever the word is?
I think we understand right now where his strengths are and where he needs to continue to grow, and we're not going to sit here and say he needs to become a better scrambler. We need to focus on he needs to be. All of our quarterbacks need to secure the ball as best we possibly can. We're going to work very hard on our drill work, on ball security, and we're also going to continue to work on the disciplines of the offense. That's, as a quarterback coach, what you have some sort of control over, and what you want to increase is the progressions, understanding where the ball needs to go, and based on what the defense is, defensive identification, mastering everything from A to Z, from protections to run game, run checks, all of those sorts of things that from a systematic discipline approach that you have to control.
In other words, there's an answer on almost every play. There's an answer there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because he's so good with his legs, do you over-exaggerate the pocket part of it now so that come fall?
I think you want to cater to the quarterback's natural abilities. Certain guys, I think you're going to see weaknesses, and certain guys you're going to see strengths. We believe in playing to the quarterback's strengths, but at the same time you have to also try to increase where they're weakest. So you try to evaluate all those things in the off season, and then at the same time we have to operate the Ohio State offense.
We haven't talked to you since Matthew left. How much of a blow was that, in part because he was the guy who had been in the room the longest?
I think in this day and age, with the portal being a factor in everything, it's what's real in college football, and we wish that young man the best in his next venture, and we move on.
And that kind of swings the other way. Gunnar Hoke, he had a little bit of a body of work, I guess, at Kentucky. How much did you go into what he did at Kentucky to see if his skills, his ability fit what you guys are looking at here? Did you do a deep dive, or what?
Every quarterback that we bring into our program will be evaluated thoroughly.
Mm-hmm. And what'd you find with Gunnar when you looked at it? I guess
he's a guy that fits our system.
Mm-hmm.
What has stood out to you about him so far?
He's a very cerebral guy. I think he's been coached really well. Being in college football for a number of years, he is a little bit ahead of the curve and say a true freshman, and he's a very intelligent guy, and not being able to have worked with him on the field throwing the ball, at least, it's really hard for me to go and elaborate on an individual who hasn't had one practice yet. So that's a tough one.
What are things from